Managing disagreements between staff is one of the most difficult parts of a head teacher's role. In this film, we've gathered together an expert panel of experienced former heads to pass on their top tips for handling a conflict resolution interview. First, let's meet the team. Alan Key, now retired, has 36 years' experience in education, with 15 as a head teacher. Peter Lawrence is Development Director at a trust of 8 schools. He has over 30 years' experience in education, 13 of them as a head teacher. Colin Richardson, also retired, has a total of 41 years' experience in education, with 16 spent as a head. Today the team has received a request for help from new head Amanda.
2 members of my senior leadership team clearly don't get on well together and have refused to work with each other on a particular initiative I have asked them to jointly lead. My deputy has suggested that I intervene and meet with both of them to see how we move forward. How should I plan for and conduct the interview with these 2 colleagues?
Difficult one.
Difficult one, yeah.
But not an uncommon one.
No.
I'd want to explore with them both individually whether the conflict lies in some sort of general clash of personalities, which maybe we've not been aware of before, or whether it's something to do with this particular project that they've been asked to lead, whether that has been the catalyst that set up the confrontation situation.
They've obviously worked well in the past together, and this has suddenly come about. So there must be some common ground between them which you can explore first and say, look, this has come up. How did you work well before? Why has this suddenly appeared? And
the head needs to have some empathy, perhaps, with both colleagues to help drive this forward.
The first advice the panel gives is to interview each individual separately to explore the issues fully.
I think the second meeting should be with them both together, but at that point the head should reflect back to them her view on where things are going wrong, to encapsulate what they both said and put it to them that these are the issues and how can they resolve them, because they're the only 2 people who can resolve them.
Well, it's going to be a difficult meeting, but at the end of the day it's got to be clear that this has to be resolved.
If they just don't like each other, then they have to be professional and work with each other. You have to tell them that. But I think the head has to be firm with them, and at the same time respecting the fact that they are probably upset by the situation they're in.
I think Amanda's a new head, isn't she? So it's very important that she makes it clear what her expectations are of her colleagues at an early stage in her headship.
The panel's second tip is to use a joint interview to give your view firmly and to set out your expectations.
One of the head's key roles in so many situations is around mediator, isn't it? And making sure that decisions are carried out and made on the basis of good professional judgment and not on the basis of perceived favouring one person or one group of people over another.
I think if Amanda comes to the conclusion that one party is definitely in the right and the other one is definitely in the wrong, the challenge there is to communicate that to both parties in a way that it doesn't appear to be personality or favouritism. You've got to focus on the professional aspects and say that, you know, I happen to feel that person X has got the right ideas about what the project is. You clearly disagree, but on this occasion I have to say to you that I think he or she is correct and I need it to progress along those lines.
Yeah, you're right, there can't be winners and losers, but I think by asking appropriate questions you can, both parties will come to the same conclusion that to move forward we have to do this, and that's when I leave the room.
The panel's final piece of advice is to bring the matter to a resolution without taking sides or letting it get personal.
The fact that the head, him or herself, has directly intervened, that can have a positive impact just in itself. The fact that you have intervened, and quite often in my experience that assists the situation quite a lot.
So this is a really good opportunity to lay down some ground rules really about how Amanda's going to lead her school.